So we're just going to keep having some fun this morning. When I was growing up, church and fun were not words you put together. Like, my pastor preached for like 45 minutes, and then he would say, let's pray. And Trevor's awesome about saying, let's pray, and then pray, and then we go. Which I really appreciate, because he would say, let's pray, and then he would like preach for another 45 minutes in a prayer. I never spent like so much time with my eyes closed. It was horrible. And it should be fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell a story. And what I'm going to do is, if you're here and you're a kid, or you're a kid at heart, and you'd like to help tell the story this morning, and have to be a part of it, just come on down. Like, come on up front here. I'm not going to make you sing or do motions, but come on up and just grab a spot. Could you actually use some help if you're willing to come and help me? Yeah, come on, it's okay. All right. Here you go, Kenley. Grace is coming. Anybody else? And if you're one of the youth that are helping us, come on down. Maylin, there you go. If you decide you want to join us later, it's okay. If you get up there and decide that you don't like it, then that's okay too. You can go back to your seat. Super easy, right? Perfect. And if you want to come down from the balcony, here we go. So what we're going to do is you guys are going to help me tell the story and help us understand the story. Because one thing I always remember too, yeah.
Hey, Holly.
One thing I always remember too is I thought I had no idea when I was you guys' age. I didn't ever know what was going on in church. We went and I didn't understand it, and so I want to make it so it's super easy for us all to understand the story this morning. So, in the first part of the Bible, the part we call the Old Testament, it's mostly about this nation called Israel, right? That's most of the story tells about Israel and what Israel did. And Israel lived in a very specific place, just like we live here in Oregon. Israel had a home, they had a country, they had regions and areas and places where they lived. And what they did is they were largely farmers. What do farmers do? They farm, yes. Thank you, Captain Obvious. They farm, right? You have to plant things and then you work really hard. And what happens after you farm and you work really hard, you plant and you watch it grow, finally you get to do what? You get to eat. You get to harvest the food and then you get to eat. That's the best part. Farming would be pointless if you didn't get to eat at the end, right? And so they would go out and they would gather and gather and gather and then they would get to eat. And so this morning what I need you guys to help me with something. We're going to do some planting and some gathering, okay? So, we're kicking off our baby bottle campaign this morning too for Pregnancy Care Center. So, what I need you guys to do is, if someone would like one of these baby bottles, would you take it to them? And while you're out there, some of these people have some socks and underwear for the shower truck we need to harvest in. So if you have socks and underwear, one of these bright smiling faces, we're going to come get it. If you like a baby bottle, just put your hand up and you guys can take them and hand them out. If you're in the balcony, we're not going to send kids up there because I have a let's not get to be lost policy this morning. But if you want to send socks and underwear down, and if you can launch them so that they either land in the aisle or hit like the wall, then go ahead and do that. So you're going to take a bottle, and if someone wants one, hand it to them. If they have socks and underwear, bring it back up here. This is our harvest. This is our farm work. Here you go. There's some socks on the front row here. Hey, and if someone doesn't get to your socks and underwear, if this system's not perfect, the bin will be in the foyer on your way out. And we're sorry, there are more baby bottles here. We don't get you.
Throw it down.
This is as much for them as anything else.
Throw it down here. Come on.
Throw them down. I want to see one launch.
Throw it, Larry.
All right, and then you bring your socks and underwear back and put them right in this blue bin here. And these are going for people who come in the shower truck and need some clean socks, some clean underwear to help stay healthy and warm, right? Wow, that's a lot of great stuff here. All right, so we are out of baby bottles up here if you're waiting for one. We do have more that'll be out on your way out. Sorry, not a perfect system. So you guys did awesome, awesome. Man, we filled the bin. Look at this. So, after working that hard, right? You would think you deserve some kind of reward, right? Where is your reward? Well, here's the thing that happened in Israel. They worked really hard, right? All the time they were working and they were farming. And every time they would get a harvest and they were going to get to finally eat and enjoy their reward, you know what happened? Well, there was these neighbors, these Midianites, We had a couple Midianites out there, maybe. These Midianites would come in next door, and they were bigger and stronger. And so instead of farming, you know what they did? They just came and took Israel's stuff. They said, it's mine. Give it. Give it. You can't have it. They took all of it. Every last one. I'm going to try and see if we can keep a few things. It's awful. We have a few things left, but every time Israel would harvest, the Midianites would come in and they would steal everything. They actually stole for real life. And how do you guys feel when someone takes something from you? Is that fair? No. And you know what everyone in Israel started to say? Someone should do something about that. Someone should stop those Midianites. They're not very nice. And you know what? One day, there was a guy named Gideon, and he decided he would. And so what Gideon did is he said, I'm going to do something. I'm going to stand up to those Midianites. Someone's got to stop them. And so Gideon went around and he said, I need some help. Who wants to help me stop the Midianites? Right? So yeah, he gathered a whole army together. Yeah? This whole big army. Anybody else want to be in Gideon's army? Come on. Our army's growing right now. It's getting better. Man. So we're going to stop these Midianites. So he gathered them all together. All over. And he got over 30,000 people. Which is a lot, but you know what? There was a lot more Midianites. A lot of them. Like hundreds of thousands. Tons. Everywhere. Like, look out there. You see them all? You see all those Midianites? They look scary, don't they? Just staring back at you. And they went and they saw, and you know what God said? He said, Gideon, you have too many people. Too many people. And Gideon said, God, have you seen how many of them there are? And how many of us there are? We don't have too many. We don't have enough. He said, no, you have too many. Here's what I want you to do. Take your whole army and show them the Midianites. And if anyone's scared, let them go home. Everybody look. See them all? Anybody scared? Anybody want to go home? Well, a whole bunch of them did. 20,000 of them went home, and Gideon was left with just a few thousand people. And he's like, now it's even more desperate than before, right? And God said, Gideon, you have too many people. And Gideon said, that's not how math works, God. Like, you know you have too many people. He said, Gideon, take your army down to the river to get a drink. That's a silly thing to do. You know this story, so what happens?
They go down, and some of them fight, and some of them don't. Some go drink like this, but some bend their heads all the way down, so they're not prepared to stand up and fight. So some of them aren't prepared to fight.
So yeah, so they go to the water. And they do this, and there's two ways they drink, and God says, these ones that drink this way, stay, and these ones that drink this way, just stand on home. And you know how many were left? 300. 300 of them. And now God says, all right, now we got everybody we need. Now you're ready to fight. Well, okay. God, I don't know how to fight that big army with just 300 of us. That's impossible. And he said, you know what? You go over to their camp and you listen to what they're saying. And Gideon snuck over to the camp, and he listened, and he heard how terrified they were of Gideon's army. And he said, oh, God, we can do this. And so he gathered his whole army together, and he said, we're going to have a battle plan. We're going to have a plan. Come here. You got to get in close, because they can't hear. They can't hear this part. So they got their battle plan all together, and they broke up into groups, and they gathered their weapons. They gathered their weapons. They snuck around the whole army. They surrounded them very quiet. Very quiet. And they took trumpets, and they took torches, and they took these clay pots. And right when they snuck all the way around, we got to get all the way around the army. We got to get down here some. That's good, that's good. We got to get over here some. Good, good. And they waited. They waited until everyone was ready. And then when Gideon gave the command, everyone cheered for the Lord and for Gideon. And on three, they made as much noise as they possibly could. 1, 2, 3. And then it stopped. And the noise stopped everywhere. And they looked. And as they broke the pots, they waved the torches and they blew the trumpets, the army of the Midianites became so confused. They turned on each other, attacked each other, and what was left fled, and were completely defeated that day. And all of Israel gathered back to Gideon, and they celebrated their victory over the army of Gideon, and they were so happy because from that day forward, every time they would go and they would harvest, every time they would go and gather, no one came and bothered them anymore, and they were able to enjoy the rewards after this amazing victory. And so after that, everyone left their weapons and returned home. And here's the amazing thing about this story. I mean, if it's not amazing enough, 300 defeating that army, and it's just a crazy story. And it's in Judges, chapter 7 through 9. If you want to go and read it, I encourage you to. There's the whole thing about the fleece and Gideon trusting. But what I always find really amazing about this story is we tell it, and Gideon sounds like this mighty hero. And I mean, anyone who commands an army of 300 to a defeat like that and a victory like that is. But in Judges chapter 6, this is where we find Gideon. It says, the angel of the Lord came and sat under the terebinth at Ophrah, which belonged to Joash the Abizarite, while his son Gideon was beating out wheat in the winepress to hide it from the Midianites. The angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, the Lord is with you, O mighty man of valor. And Gideon said to him, please, sir, if the Lord is with us, why then has all this happened to us? And where are all of his wonderful deeds that our fathers recounted to us, saying, did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? But now the Lord has forsaken us and given us into the hand of Gideon. And the Lord turned to him and said, go in this might of yours and save Israel from the hand of Gideon. Do not I send you? Gideon was scared and a little bit whiny. You know, he's hiding in a cave to process his wheat so that the Midianites won't find him. And he's grumbling, like, why won't anyone do something about it? Someone should do something. God, why have you given up on us? Why have you left us like this? And the angel of the Lord comes up and says, all right, mighty man of valor, go. Go in the strength you have. And you know, here's the thing. I think we all have places in life and things that we see around us that we go, why doesn't someone do something about that? Why does God let that happen? Where is God when? Someone should step in and you know what? I think the answer is God's sending us. And that scares me because then I actually have to do something. And it's easier to be like Gideon here and just complain about stuff instead of doing stuff. But God is sending us to these same places. And I think I'm not qualified for that. I can't fix that. I can't do anything about that. I cannot solve that. I look at the things that really kind of get under my skin and make me go, someone really needs to fix that. And I'm like, there is no fix to that. We live in a broken and messed up world. But I can go in the strength I have. Because this is the beautiful thing. Gideon didn't win the battle. God did. Gideon simply went. And God kept taking his strength back further and further and further until it was very clear. There's no way. That was the world's worst battle strategy, by the way. You got 300 guys against an army of tens of thousands. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to split up into 3 groups. We're going to spread ourselves out all around them, and then we're going to make a bunch of noise so they know right where we are. We'll even wave bright torches so they can find us. You think about it, those guys had to be convinced they were marching to their death. But oh well, at least we tried, right? And then God steps in and does the incredible. In a way that only He could. But you know, the same thing is true for us. Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I'll give you rest." The stuff that we grow weary over in life. He doesn't say, "Come to me when you're strong enough to fix it. Come to me when you're put together enough to know how to do it. Come to me when you've got it figured out. When you think you have a solution that might actually work, then we'll talk." He says, "Come to me. I'll take on the burden." And then out of that we go. Not in our own strength, but in His. And that's what it looks like to be the people of God. We cannot fix everything that's broken in this world. But still God sends us with the strength we have. And no, it's not enough. But God's got this amazing way of taking something that's completely inadequate and doing incredible things with it. I'm excited that we get to be a part of that here, together. And as we go out into the world, through the rest of our week, and the month, the years ahead. And so it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, how talented you are, God is calling us to be a part of what He's doing. That's a beautiful thing. So would you pray with me? Father, thank you for incredible stories that we can share. God, thank you for things that just inspire us. For a chance to gather together this morning and have fun. God, would you give us courage like Gideon had? God, not courage that says, "I have this all figured out, I'm sure I can do this," but courage that says, I don't have any idea how this is going to go. But I would rather try than simply sit and complain. I'd rather do something than wait for someone else. And God, maybe for some of us, you're calling us to something this morning. There's some place that you are waiting to see us make an impact on in this world. God, if that's true, would you reveal that to us in a way that we can understand? Would you give us strength to respond to where it is you're leading us? So Jesus, we thank you for loving us. Thank you for your promise that we don't do this alone. Thank you that you choose to use us and make us a part of what it is you're doing in this world. So it's for all these things and more that we love you. It's in your name we pray.